very scary, very stressful, very strange week here in LA, where we work, where we live, where our kids go to school. We are back in our studio, which we had to evacuate on Wednesday. That's our building right there, the El Capitan. That is how close this fire was to our theater here. Many of us had to leave our homes in a hurry. Some of our coworkers lost their homes. That's Hollywood. It's been terrible. It's been a terrible. Everyone who lives in this city knows someone, most of us, multiple people, families, friends, colleagues, neighbors whose houses burned down. And the truth is, we don't even know if it's over. We had 100-mile-per-hour winds fueling this nightmare. As of tonight, the winds are back. And I think I speak for all of us when I say it has been a sickening, shocking, awful experience, but has also been, in a lot of ways, a beautiful experience because once again, we see our fellow men and women coming together to support each other. People who lost their own homes were out volunteering in parking lots, helping others who lost theirs. And tonight, I don't want to get into all the vile and irresponsible and stupid things our alleged future president and his gaggle of scumbags chose to say during our darkest and most terrifying hour. The fact that they chose to attack our firefighters, who apparently aren't white enough to be out there risking their lives on our behalf, it's disgusting, but it's not surprising. Instead, I want to focus on thanking those men and women, because that's all we should be doing right now. And we should never stop thanking them. That's right. Our firefighters from LA were the first on the scene without hesitation. They were out there putting out the fires as best they could. And then we had firefighters from other states coming in, from Nevada, from Arizona, Texas, Oregon, Utah, Colorado, Washington, Northern California, New Mexico, Idaho, Maine. Firefighters came all the way from Maine. We have firemen and women from Mexico, from Canada, and we're very grateful to them. And to our police, our National Guard, our rescue workers, the doctors, the nurses, EMTs, the pilots working 12-hour shifts. Thank God for all of you. And if you want to thank these brave individuals with a donation, this is a very good place to start. Support LAFD.org. And I also want to thank our local news reporters who reminded us how important local television and radio and newspapers are, especially in time. How are you doing, Guillermo?
I'm doing good, thank God, Jimmy, thank God.
Guillermo almost had to come live with me. He almost had to evacuate on Thursday night. We had 19 people living with us and 4 dogs. It was unlike anything I have ever experienced. It's so strange to look around your house and just have to decide what you want to take, and then fight with your kids over what they want to take, because we had to leave a lot of stuffed animals behind. One of our producers, Hera, her family had to evacuate their house. She asked her 8-year-old to pack his most important stuff. This is what she found in his bag: 8 pairs of boxer shorts. And I don't know if you can see, that container has all his teeth in it, his baby teeth. He's apparently saving them up for the tooth fairy. It's basically his bank account that he took with him. I think if I had to pack one thing, I was thinking about it, it would probably be my phone. I downloaded that Watch Duty app, which I'd never heard of. And you know, when you Google Watch Duty, you really have to be careful. You do not know what might come up. That was very helpful. If you've been to this neighborhood before, our neighborhood, you know that Hollywood Boulevard is crawling with people dressed like superheroes. You see, we got Catwoman, we got a lot of Spider-Man. I mean, there are so many Spider-Men. Spider-Man after the Spider-Man. And when the fires broke out here, those heroes did nothing. They did not help us at all. But then the real superheroes swooped in, the Aquaman, if you will. And I have to say, watching these pilots drop water from planes, these precision strikes, it is so, I could watch this all day long. From now on, this is how I want to put out the candles on all my birthday cakes. Remember when hurricanes hit Florida a few months ago and they were saying the Democrats, the far left, secretly controls the rain? Well, I think we finally proved we do not, okay? A lot of big companies stepped up during this time. Our company, Disney, donated $15 million to the relief effort, which is great. Airbnb is another great company. They're giving free temporary housing to people who had nowhere to go. Thousands and thousands and thousands of families. The NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, the LA Kings, the LA Galaxy, all pitching in, as are so many local restaurants and chefs who work with the World Central Kitchen. Two of those chefs are in the Pacific Palisades right now making meals for emergency responders who are still there working. That is Susan Feniger and Mary Sue Milliken. Hello, Susan and Mary Sue.
Hi.
Thank you for doing this.
Oh, my God, it's such an honor.
You've been working with Chef Jose Andres and World Central Kitchen. And what's on the menu tonight? What are you making and for how many people?
So today lunch we did 1,000, and that's chicken curry, vegetable cauliflower curry. We did a vegan option.
And yeah, tonight we have meatloaf and mashed potatoes, hot meals. And the firemen are coming in and picking up whole boxes of like 20 meals at a time and going back out to their posts.
Well, that is wonderful. Thank you for doing that. We really appreciate it. And if you want to help Susan and Mary Sue, you can go to WCK.org. That's WorldCentralKitchen.org and make a donation. That's one of the good deeds. There are also some not so good deeds happening. There have been reports of looters showing up to go through people's houses. This guy was caught going through a house dressed as a firefighter, which is so gross. I mean, if you can't trust a male stripper, who can you trust nowadays? Can you imagine doing something like that? I mean, there should be a law that says if you get caught burglarizing a home during a fire, you automatically have to trade places in prison with one of the inmates that is out there working to save the people from the fire. And anyway, if you see anyone dressed like this in a restricted area, please contact the LAPD immediately. The other thing we could do without, and this is a little thing, but the city's still giving out parking tickets. The owner of this car, somebody we know, had to evacuate and then came back to find a ticket on his windshield. Unless your car's blocking a hydrant or the rescue effort, they shouldn't be giving out parking tickets right now. The whole city is a red zone right now. You do have to be careful about where you park. And I mentioned this last week. This is when we had no idea the situation would become so serious. The Pacific Palisades is home to a lot of celebrities, many of whom lost their homes. One of them was out there really taking care of business.
We really need people to move their cars. So if you leave your car in Palisades Drive, leave the key in there so a guy like me can move your cars and get them up there so that these fire trucks can get up there. It's really, really important.
Thank you for talking to us live, sir. What's your name?
My name is Steve Guttenberg.
That's right. From Police Academy, from 3 Men and a Baby, Steve Guttenberg has emerged as an unexpected hero in all of this mess. And we tracked Steve down because he didn't stop there. Steve is with us right now. Hi, Steve. How are you?
Hey, Jimmy. I'm good, and I feel so much for all the people here that lost their homes and are having so much trouble. It's a really, really tough time right now, but, I appreciate everybody and all what you're saying, the LA Fire and all the companies that are helping. It's a tough time, of course. It's a really, really rough time for everybody.
Where are you right now, Steve?
Right now in front of one of my neighbors' houses where I saw some smoke, and I'm trying to put out some small fires. That's what my neighbors and I are doing. And I'm a little far away from my house right now because I found another dog that I'm trying to save. So I'm looking for this other dog and then putting out little fires on railroad ties and things like that. It's just, it's unbelievable how many homes have been lost and how many people are affected.
Steve Guttenberg is out putting out fires and saving dogs. Steve, do you feel like your pretend training in the Police Academy helped to prepare you for this eventuality?
No,
Has the mayor approached you about being the next Batman? Like, not the movie one, like the for real Batman here.
No, but I need clean underwear. Anybody has clean underwear.
A face mask can double as underwear in a pinch. And vice versa, too. Steve, what you're doing great things, but do you remember the last time you were on the show with us?
Yeah, sure. Was it
You had-
when I lost on that dance show?
Yes, when you had been eliminated on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
Well,
That was
next-
it's tough for Jews to dance. Jews are really aren't good for it.
Well, you are eliminating all sorts of stereotypes right now, Steve. Thank you for everything you're doing there. Next time, let's have you on under happier circumstances. All right? Steve Guttenberg, everybody. You know, we've learned a lot over the last 6 days here in L.A. We learned the names of every local news reporter. We learned that there's such a thing as a boiling water advisory. We learned that Steve Guttenberg's a goddamn national treasure. We learned that most of us are useless in an emergency situation. We learned some new words like slopover and Foss-check. We learned that there is a socially acceptable use for the word retardant. We learned that there was a bunny museum in Altadena, which I didn't know. We learned that none of our out-of-state family members know the difference between Santa Monica and Santa Clarita. And we learned that whoever was sending out those emergency notifications to evacuate should not be doing that job. You know, I feel like I'm an expert now on all this fire. Before this happened, most of what I knew about fire safety came from watching Paw Patrol. But speaking of famous pups, our first guest tonight is the one and only Snoop Dogg. He is very kind to show up tonight. And I'm going to tell you, we asked Snoop to come here for 3 reasons. Number one, he's like a family member to us. Number two, he represents Los Angeles in a big way. And number 3, he's impervious to smoke. So Roy Wood is here with us tonight, and a band that has been hit hard by the fires. Altadena's own Dawes is here tonight. And I'll tell you their story in a moment. You know, over most of the last week, we've seen some very upsetting images, but we've also seen countless examples of courage and compassion from our neighbors under literal fire. And tonight, to show you what you might not be seeing living in other places, we want to share some of the more uplifting stories from our fire-ravaged town.
It's known as the City of Angels for a reason. In the midst of the destruction, embers of hope as the community and beyond unites to offer help.
In times of need, you look for the helpers. The view from Air 7, clear evidence of the massive community support.
We stick together when it's time to stick together.
We are giving away free food, diapers, coffee.
That is a human conveyor belt. Those boxes they are passing are filled with supplies.
Donations have been pouring in at centers throughout Southern California. It is a grassroots effort. Everything from toiletries and clothing to bottled water.
We have diapers, we have supplies, we have everything that you possibly could need.
We got like 600 hot dogs. So that day we gave like 600 hot dogs to the fire department. Whoever came, honestly, it was open for whoever was affected.
These street vendors went on TikTok Live and truly changed everything.
A free store for people who have lost everything, who've been affected by the fires, to come and take what they need to replenish their wardrobes.
I came across this vehicle right here, which says chicken noodle soup for the soul.
I was stunned. We've had close to 5,000 people in Los Angeles go online to Red Cross to volunteer. Extraordinary.
One of the main things is emotional and spiritual care. I just walked around the inside there and talked and sat and looked at a bunch of people in the eye. Just being present with them is one of the best things you could do.
The Pasadena Humane Society is caring for more than 300 animals from the Eaton fire evacuations. The donations were so great, the shelter cannot accept any more pet supplies.
Victor Edgar Rapella put out the most heartfelt donations, toys.
It's really important because as a kid, I didn't have any toys, and it's so nice like having some kids having fun.
Hundreds of people showed up to clean up the Rose Bowl's debris-cluttered public parks.
The tears you see are of gratitude for people volunteering out of the kindness of their own hearts.
These two incredible people lost their home in the wildfire this week, but they are here today. They are helping feed people that have lost just as much as they have.
A lot of us, we come from the streets. A lot of us were homeless in LA, and we got a second chance at life, so it's only right to give back.
Nico
his house burned down. He's also been helping people.
I see the community mobilizing. I see people making phone calls. I see people coming here and saying, how can I volunteer?
We're born for this moment. Yeah. We were born in response to the AIDS crisis. We had the COVID crisis. Now we have the fire crisis. This is what we do. We show up.
In the worst moments of humanity, the best of humanity always shows up.
Thank you all. We have a very good show for you tonight. Roy Wood Jr. is here with us tonight. We have music from Dawes. And we'll be right back with LA's own Snoop Dogg. So please stay tuned.